Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
A battle over a family's chicken coop playing out in the city of Livonia tonight after they're confiscated by animal control. The birds are being raised for the family to eat and were scheduled to be processed this weekend.
Only Livonia Animal Control took them, claiming animal abuse because they were outside on a hot day. Mara McDonald live in Livonia tonight. Mara, there's an old country song that says you got to sell your chickens before they die and the eggs before they hatch. I have never heard it come to life before.
Devin, it's pretty much come to life, and I will tell you I have learned more about chickens tonight than I had ever thought possible. We are talking about 15 Rainbow Ranger broilers. These are plush chickens, and right now they are in the custody of the city of Livonia, but they're supposed to be returned to the family that owns them tomorrow.
There's Rhonda, there's Fluffy, there's Houdini, there's Mo, Blackout.
These are Christina Cosio's laying hens, just part of her family's suburban sustainable farm.
You just start with like one seed, literally, like you'll start growing something, and then once you get the itch, it just keeps going, and you end up with like a whole garden of you're raising chickens in your front yard is what happens.
She talks the talk and walks the walk. Very little of what she and her family eat comes from the grocery store.
So this gets moved every single day when they're younger.
And there were 15 rainbow roasting chickens in what is the luxury version of a chicken tractor.
And we also feed our chickens probiotics, kelp. We put apple cider vinegar in their water.
On Wednesday, until Livonia Animal Control confiscated them.
They were telling me that the chickens were in poor conditions, that they didn't have water, that they were all suffering from heat stroke and they needed immediate care.
Christina was told Animal Control didn't need to justify taking the birds since she was now being investigated for animal abuse because it was a hot day.
All of our chickens received misting for hours that day. They had frozen blueberries.
Animal Control didn't take the hens or her rabbits, which have the same setup. After getting the runaround for 3 days, the city's legal department is giving her her birds back tomorrow. But it's not over.
We will still be investigated for animal cruelty, but they're saying that they'll release the chickens back to us.
Back here live, to be clear, these are chickens that she is raising for her own family to eat. These are not chickens or poultry that's being sold to anybody else. And Christina and her partner are pretty sought after as experts in how to, essentially have a suburban, regenerative, sustainable farm. They have a really popular Instagram page to show people what it's like to go on that journey to really grow your own food. We're live in Livonia tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4. Devin, Kimberly, I'm afraid to ask what more, if we have any more country verses coming here, but go ahead.
I'll leave that to Junior Brown and Hank Thompson. But if there were any, we've seen this before though, Mara, where there end up being code issues, right? However well-intentioned somebody might be to do this kind of thing on their own in a suburban area. Is that an issue here?
Not an issue at all.
Okay.
And I asked that, is this a code violation thing? No, they're within the correct parameters with their setup and what they've got. This was strictly what the animal control people thought was an animal abuse issue.
Yeah.
Back to you.
All right, Mara.
Well, the summer months usually bring cruisers to Woodward, but this year Royal Oak Police will be stepping up efforts to crack down on unsafe driving. Our Sean Lay is live along Woodward. And Sean, this new enforcement effort is something homeowners in the area certainly have been wanting for a long time.
Absolutely, but it hasn't started yet. Royal Oak Police did announce that they were going to have a crackdown working with other police agencies in this area, but clearly it's anything goes out here again tonight. We're seeing revving engines, drag racing. Neighbors saying, look, it's a big time quality of life issue and it's also become a safety issue. The constant revving of engines up and down Woodward Avenue.
It's absolutely horrible.
Is as loud as a Metallica concert, hitting 100 or more ear-damaging decibels every time a driver shows off by hitting the gas.
We can't even watch TV in the evening.
Kelly Vesprini lives a block off of Woodward in Royal Oak, and the engine noise is unbearable.
We're often calling the police department to let them know that we can't even hear, and they do have an ordinance for noise, and we would like them to enforce it.
Royal Oak Police now stepping up enforcement to crack down on revving engines, squealing tires, and dangerous driving.
So you can definitely tell that people are drag racing, though, but also the bass from the cars. You can kind of hear the bass a little bit right now, and our whole house will vibrate from it. If they can actually get a handle on it, that would be great.
Marianne Anderson wants to know why noise ordinances are being enforced now, after months of noise has chased them from enjoying their backyard.
We can't. Not in the summer. Well, you can't even hear each other to talk because it's way too loud.
Police will also stop pop-up car shows on private property parking lots, but it's the engine noise that has damaged the quality of life in Royal Oak.
It's the revving of the engines, and they're constantly, this is like the main strip, constantly revving, up and down.
Neighbors had high hopes tonight that some of this would come to an end. I'll tell you what, we may have seen one police cruiser out here tonight, but we saw multiple drag races. That was rather shocking because some of these drivers were unable to control their cars with other drivers here, extremely dangerous. And then the noise that you hear in the background has been over and over again all night long since about 6 o'clock. It's starting to die down a little bit right now. Neighbors are also saying, look, their kids are becoming driving age, around 16. They said with the drag racing, that's really taking their breath away. They think there's going to be a big time accident out here at some point. Back to you.
Indeed. Okay. Sean, thanks.
All right, we kick off the weekend. Temperatures are going to be dropping, believe it or not, into the 50s overnight. That is a swing from this week.
Yeah, Brett, does that mean we can maybe turn off the AC a little bit this weekend?
I think tonight, at least, you're in the clear. Tomorrow, yeah, maybe for a bit, but don't get used to it. 90s return next week, maybe even the hottest air of the year so far. Clear skies for the most part, a couple of clouds passing by here and there, but all in all, it's a nice night, giving way to what should be a chilly start for some on your Saturday. Now, winds have also calmed down a bit as well. It's still breezy, and it will stay breezy tomorrow, just not as windy as it was this afternoon. After a cool start, we get back into the mid-70s for highs. Some of us may even be in the 40s in the morning. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine. Sunday, Father's Day, Juneteenth, a few more clouds, and just a very slight chance for rain late, mainly north. But I think the better chance for rain comes early Monday. Following that, we're talking 90s. We'll talk about how high the heat gets coming up in just a bit.
All right, Brett. Dearborn police are asking for your help in finding a man suspected of groping a woman at a Walmart. Police say this is the man who inappropriately touched a woman who was shopping. It happened June 2nd at the Walmart on Ford Road near the Southfield Freeway. There was a brief struggle. The guy ran off. Investigators are looking for a white crossover SUV. They believe the man used that to drive away. You see the picture, or rather the vehicle you see in the picture. If you can help, call Dearborn Police or 1-800-SPEAK-UP if you'd like to leave an anonymous tip. That's a pretty good picture.
The families of about 20 Oxford high school students have filed a federal lawsuit trying to force the district to make changes. The parents involved in the suit say the district has failed to make their children feel safe. They say they're very frustrated the district rejected 3 different offers from Attorney General Dana Nessel to do an outside investigation. The district waited 5 months to hire a consulting firm to do its own investigation, but the parents say there's no date set yet for the results to be released. The suit is seeking a variety of changes in school procedures, including more training for staff in threat assessment.
Trauma, fear, and constant worry are now what bonds us as a community. Oxford needs to immediately reevaluate its safety protocols, communication efforts, and maintain consistency so that the trust can be rebuilt for the years to come.
The lawsuit is not seeking any money, rather asking for a fully transparent investigation.
At least 2 people are in the hospital after a fight leads to a shooting at a Troy apartment complex. Happened last night at the Gables of Troy apartments on Coachman Drive. Police say 2 groups of men were fighting in the parking lot. 2 people were discovered in a car attempting to leave the scene. Both people had to be taken to the hospital. So far, police say no arrests have been made.
We are one step closer to getting the nation's youngest children access to COVID-19 vaccinations. Today, the Food and Drug Administration officially approved emergency use for Moderna and Pfizer-BioNTech vaccines for kids at least 6 months old. The move still needs approval from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. That's supposed to happen tomorrow. It's expected to pass as CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky has already signed off on the recommendation.
This coming Sunday, the nation stops to commemorate Juneteenth.
Yeah, here in Detroit, a special event kicked off tonight to mark this important moment. Juneteenth Jubilee Detroit teamed up with Eastern Market Brewing Company and Brews Brothers for a block party. Juneteenth marks the date when federal troops freed the last remaining slaves in Texas. To find out how you can participate in the commemoration of Juneteenth, go to the homepage of clickondetroit.com.